Cheers, you guys. This is Stephanie coming to you today to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart because so many of you are asking me how to create content when you don't know what to say. Okay. And we need to create content that attracts people to your brand because you, as an introvert, you don't want to send a gazillion different messages to people, right? That is the key. This is the goal. This is what we want to do. And today I'm going to dive in to this topic with you and explain exactly why you need to create content that attracts and how to do that. Okay, that's what we're going to be talking about today. All right, in part one, first we're going to dive into why it feels fake to you. But before I do that, if you are new to me, I am Stephanie Zima. I am the founder of the Rocket Free Mentorship Program. Link is up in the bio if you want to check it out. And I help online entrepreneurs to authentically align with who they are so that they can create a solid foundation of what they can build their empire, their business, their purpose, their foundation, their whatever, their life, right? Whatever it is that they want to create, you cannot create this unless you have an authentic, solid foundation of who you are, what you're here to do on this earth, and how to actually do it. And that is what I'm doing in that mentorship program. So check it out because it's the bomb. Okay. All right. So, why most content feels fake? In order to create content that sticks with your ideal audience, first you need to create or you need to become aware of what your ideal audience likes, what they need, who they even are. And right here is the problem. Most of us, when we first start, we have no idea. We have a product that we're selling, right, of some sort, whether or not it is a network marketing product or it's your coaching product or it's maybe you're selling something on Etsy. It doesn't matter what it is that you're here to do online, but you're here to sell something. Now, in order to sell that, you need to figure out who is this for? Who is this for and what is interesting about this product? What is the benefit of this product? And why should anyone care? This is where it's really tricky. When we try to answer the question, why should anyone care? We often get into reflection mode of like, oh my gosh, why should they care? They shouldn't be caring about me. Why should they care? Oh my gosh, I've always didn't matter to people, right? And it spins off this whole mindset thing in your brain. Your brain is going to automatically click into all these old thoughts that have been there, that have been placed in there, that often are even subconscious. You may not even know that they're there, but they are running your life. They're running your fear. They're running your action. They're running how you procrastinate or you not procrastinate. They run your energy levels. All of that is coming from the thoughts that you have in your brain about a specific topic. Okay, so you see how this comes together. If you were trying to create content here, and then you have to answer this content for the person with creating the value, yet it spins you into this guilt and into the problems that you have in your thoughts. Okay, and that's what keeps you stuck. This is why you are not having an easy time creating content, because your self-esteem on this side over here is not up to par with where you need to be in order to create valuable content. Okay, your belief here that you are valuable enough to create this type of content that will help that ideal industry, that ideal clientele, whoever you are trying to attract, that is what needs to be aligned. And if you have trouble creating content, you are not aligned with what your belief about your self-worth is to the value you're offering to your clientele. Okay? That's what I want to tell you. If you are having trouble knowing what to post, coming up with ideas, this is why you are not aligned with yourself. People do not connect with perfection. If you're too perfect, if everything is too great, what they will do, they will watch it. See, this is why the influencers online, the ones with the thousands and thousands and thousands of people, of views, are being watched over and over. But that doesn't mean that they make money. That doesn't mean that they actually sell something. It means that humans are watching them because they're fascinated by their perfection, by what they have going on. But let me be clear, there are many creators online that are not making any money, and it's because you need actual connection to have this transaction happening. Either your content connects with somebody enough that they click the button and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to be in there, I'm going to check out what this person does. That's why you sometimes create lead magnets. That's why you sometimes create opportunities for people to come in, get to know you a little bit better. But you need to connect. You have to have some kind of connection with the person to be able to create a sale, right? And here's the second problem. When you are not knowing who you are and what you have to offer, you are likely not sharing anything of substance that will let your audience connect with you. See, because you are probably hiding behind a mirror of, I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen for who I am authentically, right? And when that happens, is the audience, they can't connect with you. They can't learn how to trust you, and then therefore they won't buy from you because they don't know who you are. You're not consistent in how you show up. See, when you are consistent, you talk about the same things all the time. That's when you are supposed to have your niche, right? You talk about the same things over and over, your core beliefs. See, you hear me talk about mentorship, you hear me talk about healing, inner child work, energy, imposter syndrome, self-sabotage, personal development. You hear me talk about introverted, extroverted. You hear me talk about authentic selling. You hear me talk about connecting with purpose and with mission and with impact, right? You hear me talk about the mission of creating all these support circles everywhere. You hear me talk about leveling up, building habits that will actually align you with who you want to become. Because let's get real, if you're wanting to become a millionaire, you kind of have to have the actions in place. Like, millionaires don't sit and watch TV all day long. Millionaires don't like talk to their friends for hours and hours every single day. No, they go for a hike with a friend while they're planning their next business ventures, maybe, right? So are you capable to go on hikes? Are you able to do the things that the millionaires are doing? If not, you are not the person yet that would become what you want to do. So that needs to be leveled up. That part needs to be, your habits need to start aligning with who you want to become, right? So it's a process. And I know that on social media, it's all trendy when you have the hacks here and you have this there and da 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 da. But no one really teaches you the foundation that you need to have in order to build a successful business. See, you can have overnight success when one of your reels goes viral and you have created something. Imagine though, those, let's say 1,000 people for easier math. Imagine these 1,000 people are now out of the sudden wanting to be your customers. Are you capable with your actions today to handle that? Are you capable with the system you have today to handle that? The answer likely is no. Okay, so that's why you need to have actions in place, a system in place, and you need to learn how to have the habits in place of someone that can hold these 1,000 customers all in one shot. Okay, if that is what you are looking to have. Okay, so next thing, to create magnetic content, that is part number 2. The 3 elements that we want to talk about in creating magnetic content. Number 1 would be clarity. You have to be clear. What I just talked about, people know you for something and they need to be able to trust you for said thing that you are going to give them. Okay, What are you talking about most of the time? What do you like talking about most of the time? When you create content, ideally you want to have a brand that is you, because this is something you can show up as every day. See, if I would wake up in the morning and I would have to put on makeup and be someone I am completely not, that would be so exhausting. I don't think I could do it, especially not as an introvert. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could talk about it all the time. Like, let's say I would be somebody that would show up in heels all the time with bright neon colors, right? Oh, I don't think I could, because that is not who I am. Like, I cannot even wear heels at the moment. And I rather like to go into the woods and sit by the fire and be somebody that recharges in nature and like does kayaking and hiking kind of things, right? But if you want me to talk about camping, I can be passionate about this all day long, and I can talk about this all day long, and I can say all these lessons that we're talking about as we are hiking. You see the difference between pretending to be somebody that you are not and actually aligning with who you are, and then waving this into your content. See, if you are somebody with the heels, for example, your marketing will look completely different than the person that is having a marketing strategy of hiking, like if that's your passion, right? I would never market, let's say, I mean, let's spin this for a second. I would never market heels on a hiking trail, right? It would not make any sense. If that is what you are talking about on your social media, if you are one day are in heels and then one day you're in hiking boots, and then out of the sudden you're having hiking boots on heels and vice versa, like your audience is going to be like, who is this person? Like, it doesn't even make any sense, correct? That is what happens when you're out of alignment with your clarity, with your brand. Okay, you've got to be knowing who you are, knowing what you stand for, and then put this all together into your brand message, and that becomes clarity. Okay, that's how it becomes aligned. The second thing you need to have in order to create magnetic content is the connection. You need to speak about emotions. You need to speak about something that's logic for your ideal audience. You have to connect with them. What do they care about? What do they want? What is their need? If you are vulnerable, that helps a lot to build the trust. Because, see, if you are on the offensive all the time, if you're on the offensive, you're probably offending somebody else and they're not going to necessarily connect with you. So it'll be easier if you can be more vulnerable, if you can have more authenticity, right? So you can be trusted, that people know who you are and vice versa. And here's why you want to do that. It's not just so you can manipulate your audience to like you and trust you. It's actually because you need it too. See, if you attract a tribe that is, let's say you are the hiker, okay, you are the one with the hiking boots, but you're attracting this high vibing, extroverted person with the heels, it's not going to go well, because you've got nothing to connect with, you've got nothing to talk about. Like, one likes this and one likes that extreme, and it's going to be exhausting. You're not going to feel good providing value to that person. But if you are connecting with somebody that also likes to hike, and you guys can both go to hikes and sit around the campfire, and now you're creating a bond, and now you're feeling really good and you're giggling, and then you have memories, and next thing you know, like, hey, do you remember this trip? And now you have connection, you have a bond. Okay, and that bond leads to customer retention, for example. That will lead to a friendship, that will lead to something far more transformative than you just making a sale. Can you sell your product to this opposite kind of person? Absolutely. Yes, you can. You can. You can be so skilled in your sales techniques that you're going to be able to sell an apple to somebody that hates apples. Okay. However, does that really align with you? Do you really want to do that? And most of us that are in network marketing, in coaching, in online creating business, anything monetizing online presence and online presence, we usually are here to help others, connect with others, do these things, right? That's what we're here for. That's what we want to do. We are impact driven. And especially if you're introverted, you thrive on small, deep connections versus the big ones. All right. The third part for creating magnetic content would be the consistency. How can you show up consistently on all of the platforms that you're interested in in a way that energizes you? And here's what I want to tell you. When you're an introvert, showing up every single day is probably not going to be feasible, okay? Because you need times to recharge. Even in my setting right now, I'm speaking to just the camera. It's just me in here, right? So I am introverted. I enjoy that very much. But even that on content creating days, it takes out a lot. It takes out a lot because I feel very extroverted speaking to the camera because I'm thinking of all of you. Now, it takes energy away from me. So what I do is I create content in batches. And that is what I would suggest for you all to do as well, okay? If you create it in batches, you think of something and then there's a way how to structure it so that you can do your reels, your videos, your posts, all of that stuff. And you can package this all nice up and then you can schedule it and then you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the time. And you can rather then focus on the one-on-one attentions and connections that are actually fueling you versus draining you. Now, if you don't know how to do all that stuff, by the way, in that mentorship, Freedom Mentorship link above is where I teach people. I teach you all of it. I teach you how to connect. I teach you how to heal. I teach you how to create content, how to be you, how to be authentic, all of it. All of the things that are concerning to you is what I teach in there. Okay, so you should go and definitely check that out. And this actually leads me to my Walk It Free framework with content. It's you do need to think about this. You need to heal all the stuff that's holding you back. You release all the things, all the needs to prove to yourself or impress or chase. You have to release that, okay? Because that is not who you are. You need to connect with who you are honestly at your core so you don't feel like you're lying, okay? That's what it is. When you are having customers, when you are having interactions, if they know you for who you are, it's going to feel so much better. I promise you, it's going to feel you so much better because you're not going to be exhausted all the time. And the benefit of entrepreneurship, the benefit of you creating this and learning how to do it is so you don't have to sit in an office with coworkers that you don't get to pick. See, this is why we all want to do this. We want the freedom, but we just don't know how, right? We just don't know how to actually make it all happen. And in this Freedom Mentorship that I offer, link in the bio, I will actually teach you how to do it, all of it, okay? And then the third part here is in that framework is a level up. So heal, connect, and then level up. Level up is creating the habits, daily habits. How are you actually going to do this? And you all are different. Some people are more introverted, some people are less introverted, some people are extroverted. There is a million different ways on how to do it. And good news for you is I am the queen of perseverance, resilience, and grit. I am actually able to get a challenge and turn it around in a heartbeat. I pivot faster than other people can think, and it's just a benefit of me growing up with a bunch of foster kids that are changing all the time. I have had so many life different situations happening to me that I am able to adjust like a chameleon in a second. That is one of my biggest superpowers, and it's now my biggest asset when it comes to be a coach, because I can literally switch and figure out your situation and make it possible and doable for you, right? All right, so if you have, hang on. All right, if you have any questions at all about the content that I was sharing today, If you have any questions about the mentorship, I would love to chat with you in the comments. Let me know. Send me a message if that's better for you, because I get it. We don't necessarily want to be hanging all our dirty laundry out there. We might want to have some privacy, right? And sometimes we also deal with shame and all these yucky emotions that are stuck there. And I know, because I'm in personal development, I know about all of these yucky emotions. So that's why in my mentorship community, you will have opportunity through special ways of me doing it to just communicate with me without exposing yourself in front of the big, large group. Yet you have the opportunity to also be coached in front of everybody over there. And the best thing yet, it's only $27. So it's so affordable that anyone can take advantage of it. Come in, stay as long as you need to, and then stay with me forever. Let's build something magnificent that you love, that you feel good creating every single day, and that really truly aligns with your heart. Let's walk it free.